guys. This video is about hair extensions and do they have lice in them. I've been receiving some questions on lice and hair extensions, and honestly, it is a valid question. Let's be honest, because if we're taking hair off of someone else's head and we're gonna put it into our hair, the last thing we want to fear and be scared about are lice. So I appreciate those who have asked me this question, and I figure that it will be very, very helpful for you and people in the future to be able to refer to this video when it pertains to lice and hair extensions. So what are lice? Lice are a parasite, and a parasite is an organism that lives in another organism. So parasite actually needs a host to actually live, grow, and multiply. The host for a parasite such as lice is a person's head. Now, how are hair extensions worn? In multiple ways, right? But to get up to that method, whether it's a bundle, whether it's hand tie web, whether they are tape extensions, whether they are halo extensions, etc. The hair actually needs to be cut off of the donor's head and then sent through the process to actually make whatever method of your liking. So it is an extreme rigorous process that the hair actually goes through, and I can make another video on that later on, but right now we're going to talk about lice and if they are living in your hair extensions and if you should be scared to wear hair extensions. Now, lice very well could have lived in the head of the donor who you decided to cut her hair off to be able to, whether it's for religious reasons or whether it's to receive money. It could have lived in her head or his hair. Men grow the hair as well. But since after the hair is cut, it is no longer living and breathing anymore. It is no longer, the hair is no longer alive. So the lice is going to die immediately, okay? Now, what you could see and what could be shipped to you if you are a hair company yourself or you are interested in getting involved with hair extensions, and so you've been checking out different vendors and things, what could actually be sent to you are net on the hair extensions, okay? So it is very important to know how your hair is processed. I cannot stress that enough. It's very, very important to know how your hair extensions are processed. You do not want to be sending or receiving hair extensions that have nits on them. Now, what are nits? Nits are essentially the shell of the eggs that the lice were hatched in. I mean, it's very, very scary. It's crazy to think about. You could actually have lice in your hair while you're sleeping, while you're walking around, while you're at work, while you're doing etc. and they're still crawling and walking around in your hair. They're active. That is very, very scary, and that's why I thought this was a very good video to do, because you know, I don't want anyone to be scared. But then also, if you are a person in the business, you could very well not even know what you're getting yourself into. So you want to make sure you're asking your vendor a ton of questions, and that's why it was so important for me to do the entire process myself, because to be honest, I did not trust a lot of vendors, because I have ordered so much hair from people overseas thinking that they were going to do me right or send me the right product, or I knew what I was asking for, and they just send me whatever it is that they had, and I got gypped of my money. So I was very dissatisfied with everybody that I was finding. So it was just best for me to do the whole process myself after I received the bulk hair. So I send my hair through a very extreme rigorous process in making sure my hair is clean for my customers and for my stylists that I work with who actually, you know, order hair through me, because I do not want anyone coming back to me saying that there were any nits in their hair. So a nit essentially is the shell in which the eggs live in. So think of it as, okay, how many people drink dirty martinis? So the olives that's inside the dirty martini is considered the cherry tomato, I believe. That little orange reddish inside. After you suck that all out, which now I'm thinking about it, this is probably a horrible example, thinking about food and lice. But after you suck that out, now the olive is the actual shell for the cherry tomato that was on the inside. That is how lice work, okay? And that was the eggs on the inside of the cherry tomato. After the hair has been cut from the donor's head, you will not have lice that's still living and breathing anymore, because it needs a host that is it needs a host to feed it, right? Now, what you're gonna have is the green olive. You're gonna have that shell on the hair extension in itself. And you know, you can actually be able to get that off of the hair extension itself. You know, you have to buy a comb. They sell lice combs for this. And you have to get some kind of oil to run through the hair. You know, you have to go through your hair extensions after you receive them to make sure you're extracting any nits that could possibly be on the hair. You do not want your customers, or you do not want yourself to receive or wear hair that has nits still on it. I mean, because you can have a very itchy scalp if you possibly do. So it can be done. You just have to make sure that you are treating the hair and make sure that you're not essentially wearing hair that has nits on it. Okay, so let's make sure that I went over everyone's question that I actually received information from. So, excuse me. Okay, so I have a question here that says, so how the lice actually laid to your hair? The lice is laid on the hair because the lice actually has like a natural secretion that is like a glue, and it allows them to lay eggs on your hair, which is the knit, okay? And then the knit is actually sitting on the hair shaft, so that even if you are, you know, like I said, asleep, or if you're walking around, the lice is still in your hair, moving and producing more eggs, essentially, because of the secretion that they have in your hair. So the things that lice do not like, honestly, is natural oils. So if you get something like coconut oil or a really good heavy duty oil, then the lice will not survive in a oily hair, okay? They do not like oil essentials. That's why I said if you receive hair extensions that have lice in them, then what you want to do is get a lice comb, comb them out, and then make sure you use some oil as you're combing. Pick through that hair to make sure you don't have any nits on that hair, because you do not want to be wearing hair that has nits on it. And then you do not want to, if you're a company, you do not want to send this hair to your hairstylist. Do not want to have your clients wearing hair that has nits on it. It is very important to know how the company processes their hair. So by the time you receive your hair, the hair has gone through so much processing. So it shouldn't have that many nits on it, you know, if you were going to receive your hair from someone overseas. But you want to make sure that you are sending out really, really good hair. All right. So another question I have here. So someone was asking about bundle hair. So where you would possibly, the question, where would you possibly see the nits on bundle hair or lice they use on bundle hair? So you could possibly see the nits on the bundle hair casing. Just make sure, like I said, so I have a bundle here actually. Let me see here. So just go through, you know, the wefts and just go through the weft. I mean, you may have to open this up, and then make sure there aren't any nits on the hair. You know, you want to make sure you are actually wearing really good hair. So that's why it's very important. I probably didn't even zoom in on you for you guys, but that's why you want to make sure you are receiving and working with someone that actually has really, really good hair, who cares about the process in which their hair is delivered to you, so that you can care for and be guaranteed that you are not going to have any trouble with the hair for your clients and your hairstylist or your hair company. You know, you want to make sure that your product is great, because this is your reputation. For small businesses, what we deliver, what we give out is our reputation. And people, and I cannot stress to you, bad news travel fast. But if you're doing extremely well, you're providing excellent customer service, you're killing it, you're kicking butt, that word travels so slow. But I will say word of mouth does travel fast too. If you know, you can get with some good people and they start sharing the fact that you actually have really, really good quality hair extensions, that will also help too. Word of mouth helps a lot. But I'm telling you, bad reviews spread faster than word of mouth. So you want to make sure that you are providing your customers with the absolute best. All right, so the hair, I want to make sure I answer all the questions here. All right, so if I left off anything that you guys wanted to know, I believe I did answer all the questions. So again, just simple. Lice can only live as on a human, right? A live head. It can't live without it. Like, it cannot live without a human's hair. So there's no way lice can live on the hair extension. The only thing you could possibly see are nits, which is disgusting as well. But you want to make sure that hair is processed in the most ethical way possible, because you don't want to have a bad reputation, and number one, you don't want to actually be walking around with nits on your hair extensions. Okay guys, so if you have any more questions, please leave the comment down below. I will be more than happy to answer it. I believe this video would explain it a whole lot, and if you've ever known someone with lice, or if you have ever had it before, I mean, it's not like it's the worst thing in the world. I mean, sometimes it could be like ants in your house or a spider, you know, just sometimes just happens. So leave a comment below. Let me know if this video was helpful at all. And as always, I look forward to working with you guys and answering any questions you may have. Till next time.